Do buy a flower for poor girl.
I'm sorry, I haven't any change.
I can give you change, Captain.
For a sovereign, I have nothing less.
Oh, garn. Do buy a flower for poor girl. I can change half a crown. Here, take this 2p. Police! I ain't done nothing wrong by speaking to this man. Please don't charge me. I have a right to sell flowers if I keep off the curb.
Oh, shut up. Do I look like the police?
Then why are you taking my words down? That ain't proper writing. I can't read that.
I can. Gorn, buy a flower off a poor girl. What are you doing so far east? You were born in Listen Grove.
I have a right to leave Listen Grove. It wasn't fit for a pig. I had to pay 4 and 6 a week.
How do you know that, may I ask?
Well, it's simply phonetics. That's my hobby and also my profession. I can place any man within 6 miles, 2 miles in London, sometimes even within 2 streets. You see this creature with her curbstone English, the same English that will keep her in the streets till the rest of her day? Well, within 3 months, I could pass her off as a duchess at an ambassador's garden party, even a shop assistant or a lady-in-waiting, which takes even more better English.
A young woman has come to see me, sir.
A young woman? What does she want?
She says you'll be glad that she's come when you know what she's talking about. She's a very young woman indeed, and very common, I must say.
Bring her up. Show her up, Mrs. Pierce.
Okay.
I've come here to take lessons, and to pay for them too. I want to make it known that I want to be a lady in a flower shop instead of selling flowers on the corner of Tottenham Court Road. They won't hire me until I talk more genteel.
Millionaires pay me about £60.
60 pounds? I never offered you 60 pounds. Where would I get?
Hold your tongue.
Higgins, I'm interested. What about the ambassador's garden party? I'll say you're the best teacher alive if you do good. I'll even pay for the expenses.
It's almost irresistible. She's so deliciously low, so horribly dirty. Mrs. Pierce, take her away and clean her. They're going to start lessons tomorrow.
I'll have to put you here. This will be your bedroom.
Oh no, I couldn't sleep here. It's too good for the likes of me. I'm too afraid to touch anything. I ain't a duchess yet, you know.
Well, you're going to have to make yourself as clean as the room. Then you won't be afraid to touch everything. And you can call me Mrs. Pierce, not Mrs.
You don't expect me to get into that thing and wet myself all over, do you? I knew a woman who bathed once a week on Saturday and she died from bathing. I could die too. I've never taken a proper bath in my life.
Well, you've got to be clean and sweet and decent like a lady now, don't you? You can't expect to be a nice girl on the inside if you're a dirty one on the outside.
Boo-hoo.
Now stop your crying and go get ready for this bath. I'll prepare it here.
How do you do?
How do you do? Will you have a seat? Do you think it will rain?
The shallow depression in the west of these islands is likely to move in a slowly in an easterly direction. There's no great indication of any change in our barometrical situation.
Haha, how awfully funny. I'm sure it won't turn cold. There's so much influenza about. It runs through our family regularly every spring.
I've been told that my aunt died of the influenza, but I believe that they've done the old woman in.
Well, Eliza, now for it. Are you ready?
Ready.
I have found out all about her. She is a fraud.
Why?
Because she speaks English too perfectly. Only foreigners who have been taught to speak it well.
I believe that she is an ordinary London girl out of the gutter, taught to speak by an expert.
Haha, no.
Where's Eliza? We must keep an eye on her.
I can't stand it anymore. The people all stare at me so. An old lady has just told me that I speak exactly like Queen Victoria.
Let's get out of here. I've had enough of chattering with these fools. Good Lord, what a day. What a crew.
I feel a bit tired. It's been a long day. But at least you won your bet, Higgins. Eliza did the trick and something to spare, eh?
Yes, she did. Good Lord, Eliza, what's the matter?
Nothing's wrong with you. You won your bet, didn't you? I suppose I mean nothing.
That's only imagination, Eliza. Low spirits and nothing else. No one's done anything for you. Nothing's wrong. Just go to bed and sleep it off. You'll feel better in the morning.
What am I fit for? Who am I supposed to become? Where am I supposed to go? You should have just left me on the street where you found me.
Tosh, Eliza, you've wounded my heart.
Mr. Henry, ma'am, is downstairs, phoning the police, I think.
What?
Mr. Henry is in a state, ma'am. I thought I should let you know.
Well, go upstairs and tell Miss Doolittle that Mr. Henry and the Colonel are here, and ask her not to come down till I send for her.
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, dear. What is it?
Henry, Eliza's bolted.
Well, you must have frightened her. Does that mean you sent the police for her?
That's what the police are for.
Good morning, Mrs. Higgins. Has Henry told you?
Yes, he had indeed. And Henry, don't be so absurd. If you really want to know where Eliza is, she's upstairs.
Upstairs, then I shall jolly soon fetch her downstairs.
Sit down, dear, and listen to me.
Very well, very well.
Eliza came to me this morning, and she told me the brutal way that you two have treated her.
She's been telling you stories.
She behaved in the most outrageous way. She threw both my slippers in my face. Where the devil is that girl?
How do you do, Professor Higgins? Will you drop me now that the experiment is over, Colonel Pickering?
Oh, of course not.
Higgins' prior words say otherwise.
Oh, you know that's just his way. He doesn't really mean it.
I know. I'm not blaming him. To Mr. Higgins, I will always be a flower girl because he will always treat me as a flower girl. But to you, I will always be a lady because you will always treat me as a lady.
Oh, but will you come back to Wimpole Street? Please forgive Higgins.
Forgive me. By George, she will. Let her go by herself. See how she gets on without us. I'll adopt you as my daughter, and I'll settle money for you.
No nonsense. I'm a proper lady. I can take care of myself. I will not be seeing you again, Professor Higgins. Goodbye.
Goodbye, dear.